El Diablo Tren de la Mina is an aero mine train at PortAventura. It's the best family coaster at this Spanish resort, but how does it compare to the other mine trains out there? Find out in this review of El Diablo. PortAventura opened in 1995 with just 2 roller coasters, and El Diablo was one of them. While Dragon Con was built for thrill seekers, El Diablo was built with families in mind. Built by Aerodynamics, this was the second to last mine train they ever built, and the only one you can find in Europe. El Diablo is located in the Mexico section of the park. The ride's plaza is accessed by a single dead-end pathway. The coaster's finale is highly visible from here, most notably the shed the track pierces through. The rest of the ride is most visible from the far west section of the park, as the coaster crosses over and under the Silver River flume. Fortunately, the mine train theme ties in with the Wild West area perfectly, so the placement works. The steel track and wood supports make the ride feel older than it truly is. The entrance is under that aforementioned shed. The queue line features some mining paraphernalia, but you likely won't spend too much time here. This coaster usually has a minimal wait. It is one of the highest capacity rides in the entire park. El Diablo has multiple trains. I've seen 2 in use in all my visits, but I wouldn't be surprised if they run 3 on busy days, because it has more than enough block zones to do so. Each train is comprised of 6 cars. The back 5 cars have 3 rows of 2. The front car is just 2 rows of 2 to accommodate the themed smokestack out front, so each train can accommodate a max of 34 riders. Combined with fast dispatches, it's not hard to see why this line moves lightning fast. You will often see multiple trains on the course at once. Because of the short waits, this is a good one to save midday when the bigger coasters have their longest waits. Just don't head here first thing in the morning. Not only are you sacrificing time when the larger rides will have their shortest waits, but El Diablo typically doesn't open until a half hour after the park. At the end of the queue, a grouper lets just enough people into the station to fill the next train. Seating is on a first-come basis. Express Pass users have an advantage because they're usually admitted into the station first, and more often than not, they will lay claim to the front row. I think that is the best seat by a very slim margin. Riders are restrained by individual U-shaped lap bars. This is the same harness found on the newer Aero mine trains stateside, and it's much better in terms of comfort and accessibility. Once dispatched, you have a sizable dip immediately out of the station. No airtime, but you do build up a decent head of speed in a flash. You then have some turns tucked in a pit. The final one pulls some weak laterals as you tightly turn towards lift hill number 1. The first lift is 53 feet or 16 meters tall. The train rhythmically jerks riders back and forth during the ascent. At the top, you have a slight dip. Then you have a series of slow turns above the log flume. The interaction of both rides creates a lot of energy when they're both running. This leads to a swooping drop to the right. While you don't get any airtime, those in the back car are whipped over it and get some laterals. Then everyone gets a sweet head chopper with the flume because you dive under the drop. You then rise upwards and twist downwards. This maneuver gives a little pop of airtime up front, the lone spot of negative G's on this ride. Then the following turn has some decent positive G's and a pinch of laterals. You then hit the second lift hill. This one is shorter at just 37 feet or 11 meters tall. The second third of this ride is the least interesting bit in my opinion. It starts with a swooping drop to the left over an access road, that is followed by a straightaway with some trim brakes. Then you have a sharp turn towards the final lift hill, but the element does offer a good dose of laterals. The final lift is 1 foot taller than the first. The final third starts with a 270-degree twisting plunge. It honestly feels more like a helix than a traditional drop, as you gradually build up speed and lower towards the ground. This element leads into an underground tunnel. When you emerge, you have a 270-degree upwards helix. This spiral has some good force to it. You then shoot through an aforementioned shed. While the coaster isn't going too fast here, the visual is still fun. You then hit the brakes and return to the station, but not before passing through a rock cave. El Diablo is the longest aero mine train ever built. It covers 3,306 feet, or 1008 meters. Unfortunately, this is not the best paced mine train. The 3 lift hills really break up the experience. I like the first and final third, but that middle section truly feels like filler. The ride is among the smoother Arrow mine trains. You still have a few less than perfect transitions, but the ride in general tracks much better, which makes sense considering it was one of the newer ones. So what would I rate El Diablo? I would give this mine train a 6 out of 10. It's not big on thrills, but that's fine for a mine train. Instead, the coaster has some fun visuals as you head through pits, travel over rides, and zip through tunnels. It is towards the middle of the pack for mine trains, and it's the best family coaster at the entire PortAventura resort. So those are my thoughts on El Diablo Tren de la Mina. What are your thoughts on this coaster? How do you think it compares to the other mine trains out there? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you considered subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.